Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we're covering ICP. Before we get in, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. I've been trading full time in these markets for 5 years and I'm literally giving you my trading ideas on this channel for free. So click that notification bell now so you never miss another video. Right, let's jump in. So ICP is dumping today along with the rest of the crypto market. It's been a pretty bloody day across the board. We've seen pretty significant pullback on Bitcoin, basically back to our range lows here that we've been holding basically since sort of mid-November. So, I mean, although it's felt pretty rough today, the reality is, if we just zoom out here, we are still in this range. Nothing has really changed from basically midway through November. We've just been sort of hovering around this level. So although this has been pretty bloody and has maybe felt a little bit bad when you check your portfolio today, actually nothing has really happened, if I'm being honest. I did have a false breakout on Bitcoin when we'd been tracking on this channel this down sloping trend line in the RSI, which had been keeping the price restrained. We had a breakout of that the other day and I got quite bullish, but then that has actually been a false break. We've invalidated that. We've broken back down below our RSI trend line here, and you can see what's happened. There's just been a huge sort of jump in the RSI since, which obviously isn't good. But so the RSI isn't looking fantastic, but the truth is the price itself is still holding this range low. Will it hold? I don't know, guys, right? I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody actually knows here. One thing that I will say, though, is that historically in January, around about the 7th or the 10th, Bitcoin generally pulls back roughly to its EMA band here, right? You see, if we go to January last year, let's have a look here, the 8th of January, which actually is today, you see Bitcoin went and pulled back 20%. If we go back a little bit further, I think is that January? Yes, it is. And let's pick from here, that is the 4th of January. Again, pulled back 30%. And I think it did something similar in 2019 as well. So, right, seasonality, guys, like this is possible, right? This is on the cards. But if we do actually see this pullback of that roughly, basically I would be targeting between 84 and 74K. That would be a beautiful 10 to 20% pullback from today's price. And guys, I would be buying that up. Probably taking some leverage positions as well, just because it's got a lot of confluence. It's got the EMA band here. It's got our previous market structure, and it also constitutes basically a 30% pullback from the top, which Bitcoin typically sees in these bull markets. So that is sort of the worst case scenario if this pullback does continue, if Bitcoin does follow that poor seasonality pattern that we typically see in mid-January. But for the moment, we're holding the line. But if you see Bitcoin losing this sort of level at 93 to sort of 91K, just target that level. Place some orders in between 84 and 74K, and they should play out lovely. Right, so let's go on to ICP then. So yeah, ICP, guys, basically tracking what Bitcoin's doing right now. On the Bitcoin pair itself, you can see here nothing is really changing on ICP, especially if we go down to maybe the daily. Like you can see, nothing's really going on here on the Bitcoin pair. So ICP is basically following Bitcoin 100%. Because basically, if you don't see any action on the ICP divided by Bitcoin pair, basically that just means it's just neutral. So it's just going to follow Bitcoin, whatever it does do. So ICP is suffering because of Bitcoin in the short term. But in the long term, guys, I have to remain bullish on ICP because our price is above our EMA band here in the weekly time frame, which generally signifies a bull market. We're above our prior resistance that we made in the summer of this year, and we're holding the line for 4 weeks straight. And our RSI is continuing this breakout from our downsloping trend line and is holding that midline as support. So on the weekly time frame, guys, on the higher time frame, as hard as it can be sometimes, the truth is I have to be bullish because I don't really see any bearish signs here in the immediate short term. If we go down to the 2-day time frame, again, I told you got this breakout out of this downsloping trend line, which pushed the price upwards here. And we have now come in to retest our 2-day EMA band, which we are doing exactly that right now. And again, we're holding above it. And I think so long as we hold above this EMA band, guys, I think ICP is going to be okay. Now, if Bitcoin does get that correction, right, that sort of 20% correction down to that 84 to 74K, and we just translate that over to ICP, let's call it 20%, that would put you roughly back down at those lows we made in December. That's not too bad. And it also has confluence with this trend line here that I've been tracking for many months now. So there are a couple of confluences around this level here at roughly $9, right? So if this doesn't hold, this EMA band, and Bitcoin does get that seasonal correction of about 20%, I would just translate that over. 20% pullback from today's price in ICP puts you around about $9. And that would be a very nice buying opportunity, guys. To be honest, I probably would be getting in around that level, even for a trade, depending on what we actually see here. Because yeah, you've got those conferences there at about $9. I think that's the worst case scenario in this specific correction, in this specific pullback. But so long as ICP holds above this EMA band here on the 2-day time frame, it is set to keep going, and that's the honest truth. Like if we just stick our Fibonacci on to see if we've got any additional confluence there as well, and we're zooming down to the daily right now. We're just going to stick the Fibonacci to see if we're at any key levels right now. And again, yeah, look, we've just tapped the 618, the golden ratio, right? And typically price does bounce from that level, and we're currently seeing a bounce from that right now. You see the way you see this long wick here on the candle? That is currently showing that buyers are stepping in at this level. And normally when you see a long wick to the downside, it signifies a reversal is imminent. But again, worst case scenario, if we don't hold that 2-day EMA band, which is currently falling at basically the price right now, $10.80, if we don't hold that, then I would just be targeting $9, and what an opportunity that would be. So I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you got some value from it. If you did, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and clicking that notification bell. Really helps me out, guys. Doing my best here to try and save you some money and help you learn from my mistakes in the past. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.